Level 1. The trainee. The air smells like red clay and cut grass. It's 5:47 a.m., and you haven't slept more than 4 hours. You are standing in a line with 31 other people, all of them strangers, all of them staring at the same gray horizon. You don't know any of their names yet. By week 3, you'll trust them with your life. By week 6, some of them will be gone. The Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETC, is not a school. It is a pressure test, and it starts the moment you step off the shuttle. You've passed the background investigation. You've cleared the polygraph. You've survived the medical eval, the psychological screening, and the panel interview. But none of that prepared you for this. The first thing they take from you is sleep. Then they take your sense of time. Then they take your ego. You spend 16 weeks learning criminal law, constitutional authority, surveillance tactics, defensive driving, and firearms qualification. You fire thousands of rounds. You run miles in boots. You sit in lectures that feel dry until someone tells you a real case, a real name, a real victim, and suddenly every word has weight. You are being built into something. You just don't know what yet. The instructors don't congratulate you when you do well. They note it. And when you fail a drill, they don't yell. They watch. That's worse. You learn that ICE, U.S., Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is not one agency in the way most people think. It is two distinct forces operating under one name. There is HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and there is ERO, Enforcement and Removal Operations. Two worlds, two missions, and the path you are on determines everything about the next 20 years of your life. Right now, you don't fully understand the difference. You will. Level 2, Immigration Enforcement Agent. You graduate, you get your credentials, you get your badge, and then you are handed a district assignment and a partner you've never met. And within 72 hours, you are in the back of an unmarked van at 4 in the morning, parked outside a residential address in a city you barely know. The target is a priority removal case, someone with a prior order of deportation, a criminal history, and 3 previous encounters with the system. Your supervisor says he'll be home. He always comes home Tuesday mornings. You wait. The street is quiet. A dog barks somewhere. Your partner doesn't speak. He's done this 1,000 times, and he knows there's nothing to say. When the lights come on inside the house, you feel your heartbeat shift. This is the part nobody tells you about in training, that moment before the knock, where everything crystallizes into one single question. Is this person dangerous? You don't always get to know before you find out. As an immigration enforcement agent, you are the front line of the Enforcement and Removal Operations Division. You locate, arrest, and process individuals with active removal orders. You conduct surveillance. You perform interviews. You coordinate with local law enforcement. And you do this every day, in every kind of neighborhood, in every kind of weather, with incomplete information and no room for error. The paperwork is relentless. The bureaucracy is thick. Supervisors who have never been on an operation in years send emails at 9 p.m. with procedural updates. You fill out forms for forms. You document everything, because one gap in the record chain can collapse a case in immigration court. But the part they don't document is the look on someone's face when you arrive at their door. The child in the background. The wife who doesn't speak English. You are doing your job. You believe in your job. And you are learning that believing in something doesn't make it simple. Level 3, Special Agent, GS7. You made the switch. It wasn't easy. The application process was longer than your first year in the field. But you wanted to investigate, not just enforce. You wanted to follow something further than a front door. Now you are a special agent with HSI, and the cases you are assigned to read, like fiction, human trafficking networks, drug smuggling through commercial ports, dark web child exploitation rings, money laundering tied to foreign cartels. On your first week, your supervisory agent drops a case file on your desk, 240 pages, and says, "Find something." You spend 3 weeks finding something. That something leads to a warehouse in a city outside your district. That warehouse leads to 4 arrests and 2 international leads passed to Interpol. You are 29 years old, and you just contributed to a global operation. But you also worked 80 hours that week, missed your sister's birthday, and ate a gas station sandwich for dinner 3 times. The work does not care about your personal life. It never did. As a GS7, you are the junior agent. You shadow. You observe. You are never the decision maker in the room. You carry boxes of evidence. You log surveillance footage. You write reports that get edited by people above you who have opinions about font size and sentence structure. And you do it without complaint because you understand that the machine has to trust you before it gives you power. At this level, the job feels enormous and your role inside it feels invisible. But you are learning the architecture of things, the way criminal organizations breathe, the way money moves, the way people disappear and reappear under new names. Knowledge at this stage is your only currency. Spend it carefully. Level 4, Special Agent, GS11 and GS12. 2 years in, 3 years in. Time moves differently when your calendar is built around case timelines rather than months. You are running your own leads now. You have informants. You know how to build rapport with people who have every reason not to trust you. You've testified in federal court and survived cross-examination by a defense attorney who had clearly done her homework. You won. The case closed. The defendant was convicted. You sat in the parking lot afterward and felt something you didn't expect. Not triumph, but exhaustion. Deep structural exhaustion. At GS11 and GS12, you are a fully operational investigator. You design surveillance operations. You coordinate with the DEA, FBI, CBP, and state fusion centers. You write and serve federal search warrants. You spend time undercover in situations that require you to become someone else entirely for hours, sometimes days, and then drive home and try to remember who you actually are. The psychological toll is real and rarely discussed. Your agency offers resources. You've seen the posters. You've watched colleagues quietly start drinking more, sleeping less, snapping at small things. You check yourself. You think you're fine. You probably are. The cases at this level carry weight. You are no longer investigating the edges of criminal networks. You are inside them. You see how sophisticated transnational crime has become. You understand that the cases that make headlines represent a fraction of what never surfaces. And you understand something else. The harder you work, the more you see. And the more you see, the harder it becomes to unknow it. Level 5, Senior Special Agent. Your name carries weight now. Other agents know it. Prosecutors know it. Close prosecutors. You have been assigned to a multi-agency task force, a coordinated strike unit targeting a specific criminal network that spans 4 states and 2 countries. You are the lead agent from HSI. You sit at a table with FBI supervisors, DEA group leaders, and DHS analysts. Everyone has jurisdiction. Everyone has priorities. And somehow, you have to make all of it move in the same direction without the authority to formally command anyone in that room. This is the hidden skill nobody teaches you: political survival inside the federal law enforcement ecosystem. The ability to lead without a title, to share credit until the moment credit becomes leverage. The investigation runs 16 months. You miss holidays. You travel constantly. You collect evidence with the methodical patience of someone who knows exactly how long a federal trial takes and exactly how much the prosecutor will need. When the operation drops simultaneous raids across 6 jurisdictions, you are watching a live camera feed from a tactical operations center. 11 arrests, 4 seizures, 3 people who were not supposed to be there. The after-action review takes longer than any single day of the operation, but it closes and it counts. At this level, you have started to think about what comes next, because you realize the ceiling of individual impact. One agent, no matter how good, can only do so much alone. The real power is structural, and structure means moving up. Level 6, Supervisory Special Agent. You are no longer in the field every day. That transition is stranger than you expected. You sit at a desk more often than not. You review other agents' reports. You approve warrants. And you manage personalities, brilliant, driven, complicated personalities who came to you the same way you came to your old supervisors. Hungry, impatient, and certain they know better. Some of them do. Your job now is to protect them from their own certainty long enough for them to survive to the next level. The politics thicken at this rank. Every decision you make is documented. Every personnel action is reviewable. You learn to communicate in layers: what you say on the record, what you say off it, and what you never say at all. You are responsible for the operational and professional conduct of a team. When they succeed, it reflects on you quietly. When they fail, it reflects on you loudly. You accept this because it is the contract you signed when you took the promotion. The hardest part is the case you have to decline. The lead that comes in, and you know it would be a major seizure, a clean case, a significant arrest, but your team is stretched. Resources are committed. You have to make the call. You make it. The case goes to another district. They close it. You read the press release 6 months later. You feel something complicated. This is leadership. Level 7, Assistant Special Agent, ASAC. 3 letters that represent a different kind of responsibility entirely. You oversee multiple groups. You manage budgets. You interface directly with the SAC, the special agent in charge, and translate strategic vision into operational operational reality. You are the bridge between the agents in the field and the executives who never see the field anymore. The information asymmetry at this level is significant. You know things that agents 2 levels below you cannot know, not because they lack the clearance, but because knowing too much too early changes the way people work. You curate reality carefully. The administrative weight at ASAC is extraordinary. You are managing the human machinery of an entire division, performance evaluations, disciplinary actions, congressional inquiries, budget cycles, interagency liaison requests, and community engagement requirements. You gave a speech last month at a university. You shook hands with a mayor. You testified before a subcommittee. None of this appears in any job description you read 8 years ago, and yet it is your life now. Level 8, Special Agent in Charge, Command, 1 office, 1 district. Your responsibility. You are the SAC, and what that means is that every operation run in your geographic area carries your signature, literally, legally, and institutionally. The decisions made in your office affect thousands of people in ways you will never fully see. You brief the director's office. You sit in Washington conference rooms where policy is shaped. You have the ear of people whose names appear in national newspapers. And you have learned, at this level, a truth that no one above you ever said out loud. The more senior you become, the less you know what's actually happening on the ground. The insulation grows. You fight it. You visit field offices. You read raw reports. You remember who you were at level 2. But the distance is real, and managing that distance is one of the defining challenges of command. Level 9, Assistant Director. At this level, you are no longer managing people. You are managing systems, policy, doctrine, the interpretive frameworks that determine how 20,000 employees do their jobs in real time across the country and around the world. You sit in rooms where decisions affect the trajectory of immigration enforcement for years, where choices ripple through courts, through communities, through the lives of people whose names you will never know. The weight is different here. It is not physical. It is historical, and you carry it accordingly. Level 10, Director of ICE. No preparation for this. Not really. You have held every rank. You have run surveillance in the rain. You have testified in federal court. You have managed disasters and personnel crises and international incidents. And now you are the Director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. You read the threat reports in the morning. You meet with the Secretary of Homeland Security. You answer to a Congress that cannot agree on what your agency is supposed to be. And you remember sometimes late at night, in the quiet of an office that still feels like someone else's, the van. The parking lot at 4 a.m. Your partner not speaking. The dog barking somewhere down the street. That was real. That was the job. Everything since has been the price of doing it well. You have risen through a system that was built to be slow, resistant, and complex. And somewhere along the way, the institution didn't just shape your career. It shaped the way you see the world, who belongs, who doesn't, what the law means when it meets the reality of a family standing in a hallway. You enforced it. You believed in it. You still do. But you know now that a badge is not a simple thing. Power never is. The man who got off the shuttle at Glinko with 31 strangers is still in there somewhere. He is why you took the job. The question you live with now, the one nobody asks and nobody answers, is whether he would recognize the person holding his ID.